Greetings to you, lovely students. I welcome you to today's lesson. In today's class, I'll be taking the topic common garden farm weeds. That is common garden weeds or common farm weeds. Now, weed is any plant that grows in a place where it is not expected to grow, or a plant which grows out of its place. Now, in today's lesson, we'll be taking the topic outline, characteristics of weeds, examples of weeds, dispersal method of weeds, effect of weeds on crops, animals, and man. Now, control methods of weeds, qualities of weeds, and qualities of good herbicide and precautions to be taken when using herbicide. Now, weed has a very negative impact on farm or anywhere they are found, although they also have some advantages and also disadvantages. Now, characteristics of weeds. Now, weeds, because of the way they produce large quantities of seeds. That is, most of them are actually annual plants, so they produce a lot of weeds within that short time for regeneration in the following season. Now, again, some of them they reproduce by way of seed. Weeds also grow aggressively. They also reproduce by many vegetative means, such as the roots, such as stolons, such as the rhizomes. Now, weeds also produce large quantities of pollen grains. Now, it is also easy for weeds to be dispersed by wind, making them easy to grow in any location they actually where the conditions are favorable. Now, I'll be taking you examples of weeds using their botanical name. The first one here is Panicum maximum, Guinea grass. Now, the Guinea grass looks more like the elephant grass, but they are different based on the type of stem. As you can see in the picture here, the stem of the Guinea grass is different from the stem of the elephant grass. Now, here is the elephant grass, which is also referred to as Penicetum purpureum. The stem of the elephant grass is quite robust, and the elephant grass is also taller than the Guinea grass. Now, both elephant grass and Guinea grass are highly palatable to farm animals. Now, the second one here is Stylosanthis spp. That is, we have Stylosanthis guineensis, we have Stylosanthis gracilis, and these are examples of the types of stylo we have. Stylo is also edible and also highly palatable to animals. Then the next one here is Stridax procumbens, which is also highly palatable to farm animals. It serves as forage to farm animals, and you can differentiate Stridax from other types of weeds based on their flowers and also the leaves they possess. Now, this next one here is Centrosema pubescens. The Centrosema pubescens looks more like the Calopogonium, and you can differentiate the two by way of the leaf type. The way the leaf is different from that of the Calopo. That is, if you look closely. But if you don't look closely, you will think they are both the same. Now, the next one here is the Eleusine indica, which is also commonly referred to as the stubborn grass. It is very difficult to eradicate or uproot on a farm. It produces a lot of seed, which makes it easy for it to be propagated. Now, stubborn weed is also botanically referred to as the Cedar acuta. The stubborn weed has very strong stems, which also makes it very difficult for the weed to be eradicated or controlled on the farm. Stubborn weed is thus a little bit palatable to farm animals. Then the next one here is a pigweed, which is also referred to as a Bohavia diffusa, botanically referred to as Bohavia diffusa. If you look at it, you take note the leaves. Some of these weeds, they look alike because of the leaves, but they are not exactly the same if you look closely. And the next one is water leaf, which is botanically referred to as the Talinum triangulae, or you can say scientifically referred to as the Talinum triangulae. The water leaf sometimes may not be referred to as weeds because it is edible to humans. Now, goat weed, we have the Ageratum conizoides. Ageratum conizoides. Take note of the flower, the way the flower is on the topmost part of the plant. Now the next one we have is Mucuna, that is Mucuna pruriens. It's also referred to as velvet beans, or you can also call it devil's beans, because the seed is a lot itchy once it touches the skin. Now, it is not the leaves that is itchy, it is the seed that is itchy when it touches the skin. We have the calopo. This is what I was saying the other time. Calopogonium muconoides. You can see that all the botanical names are written in italics form. So it is either you underline your botanical names or you italicize it. So calopo is botanically referred to as Calopogonium muconoides. Now we have the wild sunflower, which is botanically or scientifically referred to as the Aspelia africana. Okay, it is also edible for animals, Aspelia africana. Now, it is not all weeds that are edible to animals. Some of them are not edible. They are even sometimes poisonous. Now, we go to the next subtopic I'll be taking you is dispersal methods of weeds. There are about 4 major dispersal methods of weeds. The first one is dispersal by wind. The second is dispersal by animals, dispersal by water, dispersal by self-explosion mechanism. Now, weeds that are dispersed by water are usually buoyant. They usually possess the air spaces in them, which makes it easy for the water to carry them from one location to the next. Now, the next one is dispersal method by animals. Now, sometimes the seeds of some weeds have hooks which can get it can stick to the fur or to the air of animals, and once the animal moves from one location to the next, the weed can drop in that location and then it grows there. Now the next one is weed dispersal by wind. Now most times some weed seed are usually lightweight, making it easy for winds to carry them from one location to the next. A typical example of a weed seed that can be carried from one location to the other is a dandelion. Okay, now the next subtopic is effect or economic importance of weeds. Weeds are toxic to farm animals. Okay, weeds can also help in checking soil erosion. Now, some weeds are useful as food for humans and also for animals. Now, again, some weeds have medicinal properties. An example is the Aspelia africana. An example of weed that can be used as food for humans is the water leaf. Okay, weeds can also be used as mulch. Weeds can be used for compost making. Weeds also compete with crops that are planted by farmers. Weeds are also very difficult to eradicate. These are some of the effect or economic importance of weeds. Now, weeds also compete with crops for sunlight, for water, for space, for nutrient, okay, in the soil. So wherever you see weeds growing, it is most likely that the crops will not grow properly. Now, control methods of weeds. We have about 4 basic methods of controlling weeds. The first one here is mechanical method, which also physical method. Then the next one is biological method, cultural method, and lastly chemical method. Now, the physical method is also referred to as mechanical method, like I said, and it involves the use of machines in removing weeds. It also involves use of farm tools such as the cutlass, such as hoe. It also involves the use of machines such as a lawnmower or other special machine, like you can see in the picture, that is used in removing or clearing grasses. Now, the next one here is cultural method. This involves putting flood on a large expanse of land, and also burning. When a farmer practices burning, that's a cultural method. When a farmer also practices mulching, also cover cropping, and even good plant spacing, they are all examples of cultural methods of controlling weeds. Now, biological method of controlling weeds involves the introduction of some insects and some herbivorous animals such as the cattle, such as chicken, such as geese, okay, or to the farmland to eat up the leaves of these weeds. Now, the major problem with this method is that the animals may eat up the crops planted. Now, chemical method of controlling weeds, this is the use of chemicals, which is also referred to as herbicide, mostly in solution form, to control the growth of weeds. There are some herbicides that kill weeds totally. They are not specific in the type of weed they kill, and some are specific. Now, in conclusion, I've been able to explain to you the control methods of weeds, dispersal method of weeds, and so many others that we have explained in the course of this lesson. I would advise and urge you to complete your quiz, the quiz that is in this module, and also make sure that you attempt the assignment that is attached to this module. Thank you for watching. Do have a wonderful time. Bye.